Happen all the time, but welcome. Yay! We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. Yes. All right. All right. Listen, thank you. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for coming on to learn a little bit more about the social media detox, about my whole journey. I am just simply excited to be able to be sharing today. So, we're going to kind of get right into it because we lost a little bit of time on the front end. Oh, I love seeing you too, Lee. They love seeing you too. All right. I am simply amazed at how social media continues to distract many people from having clarity and making effective decisions. I remember conversations where, we would have topics and it didn't include what somebody saw on social media, what somebody posted on social media, what somebody shared or said on social media. So the reason why I am dedicating my time to this right now is because so many people want to get focused and learn to live alive again. If you want to live alive again, if you want to be alive again and you're watching this live or you're joining me on the replay, type alive in the chat for me. Type alive in the chat. Why I did this social media detox. Well, first of all, let me tell you what it is. It is a 30-day journey, where I decided not to log in, post, comment, share, or consume any type of content on social media. That meant LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, although I don't even have a Twitter, but my social media of choice is definitely LinkedIn. So for 30 days, I decided to go on this social media detox. Hey, Chris, I see you in the comments. Whoop, whoop. Listen, the amazing effect my social media detox had on me, it turbocharged my resilience and my leadership skills. And I did it because life was full. I felt more distracted. I felt not as clear as I usually am. And I needed to find a way to elevate the energy and bring more creativity for my clients and for my family while also facing life's demands. So resilience is not about how you push through. Hey, Judy, it's not about how you push through, right? Resilience is not about that. It's about how you recharge. So I challenged myself to deeper focus. I challenged myself to get deeper focus. And so many things are not within our control, right? Our client choices, our careers, health issues, loss, grief, wars. But imagine yourself being outside of your comfort zone and you go for it. Imagine with everything external happening, you put yourself outside of your comfort zone and you have obstacles that are compounded and you face it head on. This is what this journey accelerated and elevated for me. So I'm a content creator, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a business professional who uses social media to grow my business. My social media platform of choice is LinkedIn. What's yours? Share it in the comments. My platform of choice is LinkedIn, and this works for me. So I know it can work for you too. And let me say this, sometimes we're forced to make these types of decisions. We're forced or we're put in situations where we have to stop, we have to slow down, we have to do something different. That's really not what I'm talking about in terms of being forced to. I'm talking about choosing to disrupt yourself for greater clarity and greater focus. I'm talking about choosing to disrupt yourself to have greater relationships and to experience a greater level of your purpose. I am talking about choosing to disrupt yourself, to disrupt what's working, to experience greater growth. So, what was my journey like? The first thing I did, I made a public declaration. I made a public intention like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going on a social media detox. I removed all the apps from my phone, the social media apps from my phone. I took off all of the email notifications so that I wouldn't get any of them in any of the emails that I have. I set up an autoresponder in LinkedIn so that if anybody messaged me about connecting, they would get information about what I was doing about the detox. And if they wanted to connect with me, they could either just send me an email directly. And then I bought a brand new spanking journal. So if any of you know me, and for those of you that don't know, I love journaling. So I bought a new journal so that I could chronicle the journey, chronicle the insights, see what aspects of self-awareness came up for me. And then I uprooted myself physically for the first 2 days. So I took those 2 days off and I changed my environment. I wanted to align physically with what I was doing energetically. Yes, Judy, you're going to go on your own. Oh my goodness, Lee. So a student of Ian Levenzant, you use Facebook the most. Okay. So here's the thing. The first the first 2 days I put myself in the mountains of Tennessee. I literally like unteched myself. There's nothing but nature around there, nothing about mountains and waterfalls. And so before I even went on day one, the whole aspect of letting go, decluttering started to go in motion. It's like something happens psychologically when you make this intention and you decide for yourself that, hey, this is something that I'm going to do. It's like going on a vacation. The minute you purchase your ticket, everything becomes official. Everything starts getting in motion. And that's what it was like. So 2 days before my first day of my social media detox, I left 6 groups that I had been meaning or considering to leave. They were decisions I needed to make, they were pending. And then I also removed myself from a leadership role that I had volunteered for an organization that had run its course. I'd already been there for a couple of years. I'd been holding on to it. So my body, my mind, my spirit was preparing for this rebirthing and this recocooning, if you will. So I want to make it known that during this 30 days, I wasn't on a vacation. I kept working. I kept coaching. I was doing interviews. I traveled twice. One was also outside of the country for work and for play. And so here's day one. Day one, I'm in the mountains. I'm with my brand new journal. I'm like excited to go ahead and get this journey going. And I'm off. So I don't have anything scheduled that day, but I start thinking and preparing and I start writing in my journal. And mid-morning, something comes up in my mind and I decide that, I need to check on this. And instinctively and intuitively, I reached to go look and research it on LinkedIn. I didn't go on LinkedIn, but instinctively, that's what I would do because I use LinkedIn daily in my practice, in my business as a research tool. I'm on there and I'm making connections. I'm building relationships. If you're a business owner or a professional, you probably do the same thing too. So the first insight that I experienced was that when you are forced to look for alternatives, I couldn't use LinkedIn during this time to do any research. So you have to look for different ways of getting the research and the information that you need to find. And it also turned out to be something that was very interesting. So think about even for yourself, if you can't get on LinkedIn or if someone can't access your LinkedIn profile, a lot of times we dress up our profiles, we position ourselves very well, but outside of that platform, what else is there? For me, I ended up going to a lot of podcasts. Fortunately, some of the folks that I was researching or organizations I was researching had a podcast. Who would have known? And so that gave me a quick deep insight into more about that person or that organization. Now, here comes day 4. Day 4, I'm back. I'm not in the mountains anymore. I'm back. I'm in the full swing. I have a full presentation in person that I have to deliver. My first dilemma. Usually in my speaking practice, when I'm speaking, I direct people to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my platform of choice. And I tell them, connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn, share something on LinkedIn. And it does a couple of things. When they connect with me and reach out, I get to see a little bit more about their background and who they are. And then for them, they go to my profile. It also does another level of social selling for me. They go there, they see how I'm positioned, they see all the great testimonials and feedback of people who have worked with me, clients who have experienced my coaching. And so it does another thing for me. So when I had the day 4 presentation, I had to think about, how am I going to connect with these people post presentation? Where am I going to drive them? Now, I had to be creative. I came up with an activity and I used some, comment cards. And I came up with that activity to get them to share their contact information. But I also told the audience that, hey, I'm on a social media detox. So, I probably won't be able to get to you right away, etc. And let me tell you what happened. They were more curious about what the social media detox was, why I was doing it. And that was my second, realization or awareness, because they wanted to connect faster post presentation because of something else that I was doing. No, nothing to do with my business, really. Well, yes, it has something to do with the business because we're tapping into the intrapersonal aspect, but it was for me. I could have kept it personal. Nobody really needed to know what I was doing. I could have created auto posts and things like that, but I shared it. I made that declaration and that intention. And post presentation, I was able to connect with people in a faster and a deeper way. And even if they weren't interested in going to the next step, they were able to talk to me about why I did what I did. Now, here comes day 7. Day 7, I start to get the itch, y'all. I start to get the itch. I am like, okay, what's going on? What's going on LinkedIn? I want to know what's happening. I want to know if there's any conversations in my inbox. Am I missing anything? I start to get antsy. And, people will say, you could do this stuff for a weekend and you're good. And I say, no, you need to do more than a weekend. It's not enough time to reset yourself and disrupt yourself. So I said to one of my team members, I said, hey, I want you to go ahead and take over the platform. I want you to monitor the platform. If there's anything that comes in there, these are the criteria, then just let me know, send me a screenshot or something. How funny is that? And then I realized after about a few days, I'm like, what are you doing? If you're off, you're off. You don't need anybody to tell you if something is coming in there. And so I changed that and I completely said, let the system work for you. When you put the system in place, let the system work for you. This is something that I know a lot of us struggle with. We will put a system in place and we're still like hovering over it, not too sure. And this is what I was talking about when I said, there were pieces of me that wasn't as clear as I normally am. And so choosing to disrupt myself and challenging myself to get deeper focus and clarity is something that I wanted to get out of this experience. The other thing was, I was also afraid in the beginning of doing this. I was afraid. I had these thoughts and I was like, okay, what if people forget about me? My God, like my relevancy. What if my relevancy decreases? Maybe I don't really have many friends. All of those thoughts I was concerned about. But I quickly realized the opposite, because on the first day, someone responded to my autoresponder and sent me an email. Hey, Monique, I'm connecting from LinkedIn. Saw your autoresponder. Want to have a conversation with you. I'm like, oh, wow, look at this. And that continued to trickle throughout the 30 days. It definitely wasn't a fire hose, but it continued to trickle throughout the 30-day period. No, my relevancy didn't decrease. In fact, the content that I had out there from podcasts, from interviews, from all the other areas were still there. Where did I get that thought from? Where did I get that idea that maybe my relevancy would disappear in 30 days. For the first time in my life, I actually knew what it felt like for people who feel that their relevancy is waning or would be waning. And I learned something quite the opposite. I also learned something very interesting about consistency. Yes, Dr. DJ. I learned it about consistency. You see, a lot of people talk about be consistent, and they take that word consistency and they maximize and exacerbate and put all sorts of additional parameters around it. And the truth of the matter is things have changed. Things have changed. What looked like consistency a year, 2 years ago may not be the same thing because people's needs have changed, their desires have changed, their energy levels have changed. So, consistency is not about frequency. It's not about being there every single day, 3 times a day, or once a day. It's not about that. That is a myth. If you build relationships online and offline, you won't have a problem. You won't have a problem making new connections and getting new opportunities. So my email list, my industry networking groups, these became more of my focus. And I started to have deeper conversations with people. I remember throughout that initial week, I got a video call from a great friend who was meeting one of my former clients. And I said, oh my goodness, I was so excited. I started to have deeper conversations with the new and existing people that I was speaking with. I did some podcast interviews that came to me during that window of period. These things brought me joy. I started to show up with more energy from my clients and from my family. And get this, on the inside, this is powerful. Listen up. On the inside, I strengthened my self trust and my personal discipline. Many people, they right now wanting to decide what their next step is. They want to decide what they should be doing right now. They want to decide if they should stay or if they should go. Some people are saying, hey, Monique, how do I even stay engaged with people when life's demands are heavy? And this is the way. This is the way. This is an unconventional, a strategic, intentional way to deepen focus, gain clarity, promote personal well being, and feel alive again. you know? And I want to tell you this too. Here's another lesson. I noticed that some people could not and they would not honor their request. They would still send me LinkedIn posts, in WhatsApp or an email. And I'm like, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm not on the platform. I won't be able to see this post. And some people just couldn't honor that. So I had to block them for the time period. And that's a great lesson, very important lesson, because some people will push your boundaries. They're going to test what it is that you set out to do, especially if it's something that is good for you. They're going to test, they're going to push, they're going to prod, they're going to try to come around and try to go up and try to go under. And without a plan, you're going to not win, you're going to fail. So if you're not used to exercising your boundaries, if you're not used to saying yes and no without feeling guilty, then that would be a challenge. But I promise you that this journey, this exercise, it will not only allow you to feel alive again, it will deepen your sense of self-trust. It will deepen your level of personal discipline, and it will reduce the amount of pressure and anxiousness that you feel with everything going on around you. And that's exactly why I am doing this again. I'm developing a sense of recharging. I'm deepening my focus. In August 22nd, 2022, for one full month, 30 days, I'm going to make this a pattern. And I realized 3 things with this, okay? 3 things. Number 1, a supportive community doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big at all, but it is needed when you're outside of your comfort zone and you challenge yourself. So disrupting, yourself is something that is a big goal. And if you're stepping into something new and life is just coming with all of these challenges and obstacles, you're definitely going to need to have that community support. The second thing I realized is that when you do disrupt yourself, when you disrupt yourself, you are disrupting what's working as a means to develop an elite premium level of performance. And that, my friends, is a competitive advantage. That's a competitive advantage that's unspoken of. It's not something that's commonplace. But when you personally disrupt yourself and you get ahead of the curve, and you disrupt what's working, because LinkedIn's working. I love it. I didn't need to do it, but I did it. But when you disrupt what's working as a way to develop that next level of performance, that is a strategic competitive advantage that you will give yourself every single day of the week. Think of it as though you're going to the gym for the first time. You're stretching those muscle tears. You're exercising, you feel the muscle tearing, you feel sore the next day, but each time you feel those tears in your muscle, you're developing a level of endurance and performance to get you to a new height. And the third thing is that well-being can be prosperously peaceful and productive. Well-being can be prosperously peaceful and productive. And I'm going to walk this journey again. I'm going to walk this journey in August of 2022, August 22nd, 2022 through September 22nd, 2022. I'm going to walk this journey again with a group of people. And if you want to join me, all you need to do is express your interest. In the video for this live, there is a link that will take you to the page where you can put your name and your email in, and you can let me know if you're interested in joining me later this year to deepen your focus. It is at the bit.ly link, bit.ly/detox and deepen focus. Again, bit.ly/detox and focus. And then you enter your email in. And so the thing is, I not only know how to prepare for this, I know how to get the most out of this experience. And I know how to honor the space for the insights that are going to come up for you during this process and crystallize them. So this is a next level of emotional intelligence. It's a deeper level of self-awareness. You're going to a journey that will allow you to increase your endurance, because let's just face it, a lot of things are happening right now today. And a lot of people are looking for ways to not only reclaim their energy and bring joy and restore it to a newer level. You might already experience joy, and you want to take your joy to a newer level or a higher level, or you want to be able to be more resilient. Like I said, resilient is not about pushing through. It's not about ignoring and you're going to get through this and get through this and get through this. That's not what resilience is about. It's about how you recharge, how you reset, how you re-strategize, how you reposition yourself. That's what resilience is. And then as far as your confidence in yourself, your self-trust, if you already are confident in yourself, you're just going to take it to another level. If you already have discipline, you're just going to take it to another level. If you already know how to achieve balance in your life, you're just going to take your well-being and your joy and your feeling of aliveness to another level. And you deserve to do this. I recommend a social media detox to every single person. I don't care if you have a business. I don't care if you're a corporate professional. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't care who you are. The end goal is the same. The end result, the end goal is the same. You can only win. You cannot lose. I had one lady reach out to me on LinkedIn, and she came into my inbox in my email, and she reached out because she saw my post on social media detox. And she said, I tried this before and it didn't work. So I'm curious to see how it's going to work for you. Here's the thing. I did it. It worked. And I know exactly why it doesn't work for many people who want to do it. It's not that you don't have the willpower, you just don't have the guidance, you don't have the preparation, you don't have the support, you don't have the resources of how to set your boundaries. But when you have that resource and when you have that support, imagine what life could be like when you set the goal that you want for yourself internally and you go for it. You set that goal and you achieve it. I'm not talking about another degree. I'm not talking about setting a goal to travel to Bali. That's easy. These are the external things that we know how to master. The internal goal, the discipline, the self will, the self control, the self restraint, the self love. The self love. What would it feel like to love yourself deeper, in a deeper way? What would you be able to accomplish if that love and that warmth in your heart emanated even more powerfully? Detox and focus. That's what I do. I social media detox and focus. I challenge myself to up level myself. I disrupt what's working to get to a premium elite level of performance. And it gives a competitive advantage every single day of the week, every day. And so I invite you to join me August 22nd, 2022. It's going to be a nice, small, intimate experience. You will win because you deserve to feel alive again. Let me see what you have saying for me here. Oh, is WhatsApp considered social media too? No, to me, Dr. DJ, WhatsApp is not considered social media. A refreshing level of cleansing, Catherine. Yes, you are so welcome. You start your journey in July. I am here for you, Judy. You are going to win. You can only win. For those of you that want to express your interest, make sure that you submit your name and your email. Go to bit.ly/detox and focus. Lee, it's healing and growth work. Yes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And here's the thing. I remember when I was about 6 or 7 years old and I went to do a play. I was in the performing arts and I loved to do my ballet and my, ballerina thing. And I was on the stage and I remember we would have to prepare and we would practice. And for those of you that maybe you're in the arts too, maybe you're a singer, maybe you're an athlete, but you're in that performance business. And so I was about 6 or 7 years old and we had a play. And when you do a play, you have to practice. You have to go 2-3 times a week and practice. And we got to that final performance. And I had to do a cartwheel that was close to the edge of the front of the stage. And I didn't know if I was going to fall off, but I knew I had to do it because it was the ending. We would do the cartwheel and then end with our arms open. And I just took 2 steps back and I did it and I landed. And I remember everyone saying, they were laughing because they heard me say, right when I was done. And that was the sigh of relief. But had it not gone that way, I still would have been prepared. So even if you're going through this journey, it's not something that you're going to set up to say, it's so hard, I can't do it. What if I fail? No, you can't fail. You can only win. When you are preparing to do a play, to do a marathon, to do a presentation, you're not sitting there thinking, well, what if I fail? What if the performance, nobody laughs? What if I start the race and I end up having to walk instead of run? What if I travel and I get to the place and they don't have my bags? You're not going to freak out. You're not going to fail. It's not going to rattle you to a point where you can't move on. Why? Because you planned for it. Because you prepared for it. You're like, oh, this is what I prepared for. When you do your presentation, and if something goes wrong, the audience doesn't know, but you do. You prepared for it. You said, this is what I trained for. This is what I prepared for. So when you come off the heels of your social media detox journey and other obstacles and challenges and distractions pop up, you're not going to have that overwhelming feeling because you prepared for it. So I invite you to join me. Thank you for listening to the journey, the insights that I've learned during this process. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach me on LinkedIn. Take care, talk soon, and be well.